Hey and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben and this is my review for Netflix's original new Indian series called Aranyak. I think I got that right. Let me know in the comments below, had you heard of this? Was this something that was on your radar? I'm very excited to talk about it. I will be talking about the ending of the series at the end of this review. I just wanted to talk about it for a minute because there's not much to talk about, but I thought I would throw it all in one review. So for now, this is non-spoiler review. Last minute, we'll just be talking about the end, so if you don't want to hear that, I will give you a heads up. But for now, let's jump in. Political ploys, personal agendas, and a beastly myth all surface as two mismatched hill station cops navigate a web of suspects after a puzzling murder. So there's 8 episodes, about 45 minutes apiece, and it'll take you the first couple of episodes to get into what this series actually is all about. On one end, we have this weird myth of a panther man that's been doing a serial killing. It was started a while back. There were 9 murders, and now they seem to have been coming back, or there's a copycat. At the same time, we have this one female cop who's taken a year leave because she wants to spend some time with her family. We have a new cop that's kind of replacing her for that year, and then this new murder case comes up, and she's like, "I'm not sure I want to leave because this is like the case I've been always wanting to kind of do. This is the sort of thing that you get promotions for." And then we have a really complicated family life, and she's not quite the mother she used to be. We have the man that was originally involved in the case that never got to solve the Panther, I think it was Black Panther case, or the serial killer case, and that is going on along there. We have the new history of the new cop that's there. So we have all of these situations that are thrust in together, trying to solve this very complicated murder that's also political in nature, and there's a lot of political movements along the way. It's actually quite a complicated story, but once you work it out, it's actually quite an easy story to follow. You just have to keep watching all the threads, which is why I think 8 episodes is probably the right amount for this series, because actually they had a lot to go through to build those characters for us to care about what's going on. They actually had a lot of world to build and lore to establish of what's actually going on. I have to say, I thought the cinematography in certain episodes was fantastic. There were shots that were really kind of eerie. There were shots that were quite creepy. For the most part, it's pretty tense through all 8 episodes. There's not a lot of levity. I would have liked a character in the 8 series to maybe just bring a little bit of levity, because it's pretty tense and it's a pretty dark subject matter. And when you have the story unveil itself, there is a scene that is obviously gonna upset quite a few people. So if you're easily offended, well, not even easily, say, just be aware that this is an 18, I believe, and for a reason. You don't see that much, but it's insinuated what happens. Apart from like the serial killings and people being hung from trees, you can imagine that the subject matter of what's happened to these girls is quite dark. But the investigation itself and the story behind it is actually really intriguing and quite fun to watch. I watched it in the original language for the most part, and also in the dubbing. And I have to say, the dubbing is one of the better dubbings I've seen done in a while, because it's done with people that probably speak Hindi or are from India. They have the accent. It is pretty thick, so I had to watch the subtitles, had to watch the dubbing with subtitles as well to try and understand sometimes what they were saying, because the accent was so thick. But at least they got people that, could actually speak or sounded like they're from the region. Sometimes you get American actors doing dubbing for like Indian or Austrian, and that never made sense to me. So here it seems much more authentic. But it is pretty funny reading the subtitles for the translation with the dubbing, because often they mismatch. It's not a direct translation. You can't actually directly translate it. So bearing that in mind, I would say always stick with the original. But if you don't like reading, I think the dubbing is okay this time round, unless that accent is too thick for you and you're missing what they're saying. Thought the acting was really good once they get into the characters. I did feel like it took a few episodes for them to kind of get to grips with the characters they were portraying. But once all of that is established, from the young actors to the old actors, they're all kind of defined really well. So you know who is who, who's doing what, who you kind of trust. But it's the sort of puzzle piece series that more episodes go along, the more people seem to be involved in the same nastiness. And you're like, how has this town survived all this time? Because everybody seems to be involved in some sort of stupid agenda or something dodgy. And it's up to these two cops to kind of pull it all together, to know what buttons to push, and actually learn to do the case together. And once that starts taking over, I think it's a lot of fun to watch. By the time I got to the end, I thought, wow, this has almost turned to an action series. The last episode kind of brings everything to a halt, wraps up all the storylines that you want wrapped up, but kind of ends in a way that's good. There's fruition to it, a little bit sad, and then goes and makes you go, what the fudge? I had a couple of moments of that in the last, I would say, 5 minutes of this series, going, really? Okay, cool. That's the route you're going with it. So I'm going to give this a strong 4 Nicolas Cages out of 5. I thought it was very, very well put together. Decent kind of binge, I think. Once you get into the world and the lore and the story that they're unraveling, I think it's all put together. It's a fun watch, even though the themes are dark. So that is my review. Let me know your thoughts down below. What have you thought about this? What did you think was going to happen? Did you guess what was going to happen? So that's my review. This is going to be my spoiler talk for the last minute ending, so this is your warning. Okay, so we know that the cop's son that arrived to kind of replace the female cop for the year. I'm not going to try and say the Indian names because I always decimate them, so that's why I'm just using their names as that. His son was alive. Looks like he's a drug dealer. He's one of the bad guys. Says it's his code name, but we know it's Rabbit from when he was a kid all the way back, where the child was, as part of that plan, was kidnapped then and obviously wasn't killed, used to manipulate the father that way. So obviously he's carried that for a long time. So I'm hoping that the cop isn't actually dead, because he's been shot in the stomach, he's been shot in the shoulder. He could easily be dead, but they are suggesting that we're going to get a second season. But what's weird with the ending of the first season, which made me crack up, because the whole series, they're basically insinuating that it's just all myth, and there was this one guy who made up the lore about this panther. You see the claw and he's been killing everybody. But the last few seconds, we've seen this kind of fantasy shot with these mushrooms growing very, well, kind of vibrant in color. And we see this kind of half man, half panther character that is totally out of a fantastical realm storyline. So it seems suddenly that they're going into the mystical realm. So if we get a season 2, will they delve into the lore of that, or that be just something that they just want to stick on the end for the fun of it? Bonkers ending. I guess that's my explanation of it. It looks like it was real all along, which is hilarious that they're going to go that way. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.